All right, a little late. Better late than never. Let some people filter in here real quick, but you missed the news. I don't know how you could have at this point in time, but Mississippi State's made the decision to fire head coach Zach Arnett. Where were they at here? Let's throw up their record real quick. I mean, you knew this was coming. 4-5 with 2 games upcoming here. Mississippi State, again, pulls the plug on the Zach Arnett era. 8, what do we got here? After just 10 games. Didn't it always feel like Zach Arnett was an interim anyway, though? I know he certainly did to me, but that's big news. I think this is good news for Mississippi State. If you got the wrong guy, no need to delay the inevitable. The weirdest part of this whole deal was that they fired him on a Monday. I was waiting all day Sunday, not just Mississippi State, but obviously Arkansas, waiting for some news there that never came. I don't understand doing it on a Monday, but whatever. It had to be done. Mississippi State moves on. Greg Knox, now the interim coach. He's been the interim coach before under Dan Mullen, sadly. I think he was interim coach at Florida, too, when Dan Mullen got let go. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, Mississippi State just got destroyed by A&M. And again, apologies for not doing this live. This is the first time I actually had something to do on a Monday morning this football season. Had to meet with some family for brunch, but I don't know. I mean, I know people, that's what they're already giving me, James Madison coach. I have no idea. Anybody, again, throwing names out, they're just throwing shit against the wall, hoping something sticks, or they're getting, no, I don't believe it. They're saying Sam Pittman's already fired, not to my knowledge, but it's agents or it's people just making stuff up, things that make sense. So I'm not going to give you a list of candidates because I don't have a candidates, and there is no list. Not today. There'll be a list probably in a day or two, and that's not going to be released anyway. But you just can't have in the SEC. I say it time and time again. I would never hire, and they had to do it with Mike Leach passing and the transfer portal and the signing day. I get all that. So that's why Zach Arnett was hired. He was not qualified for the job. That was evident. I had people at media days telling me that, he's not going to survive very long, and they were dead right. Did they bring back Dan Mullen? I mean, they would, but I don't think Dan would take that job. I don't think he'll look back. I don't like a retread. I've heard the name Rich Rodriguez. He's doing, we got to saw him a week ago against he's at Jacksonville State now, nearly knocked off South Carolina and Columbia. I mean, Florida fan says, please God, take Billy Napier. Mississippi State would take Billy. I don't think Billy would consider it, obviously, but okay, this is some inside knowledge here, I guess, from Skylar. I appreciate you. Or Skyla. Sorry, I butchered your name. Steve, she's talking about Steve Robertson. He does a hell of a job. Gene's page 247 says Mullen and Beamer are the top 2 right now for what I can't imagine Shane Beamer would leave South Carolina for Mississippi State. I know he was there. His wife's from there, but I don't know if that makes much sense. But again, so there's you some potential inside information. I think you go for a guy like Space Mountain says here, Jamie Chadwell, a guy that's been a head coach. Do not hire someone that's not been a head coach. I don't care if it's Glenn Schumann from Georgia. I wouldn't hire him because Mississippi State is a unique place for many reasons, but I think the one that gets overlooked is just the expectations. And no, they're not sitting here demanding you win the SEC or something like that, but coming off the Dan Mullen era, and Mike Leach was a hell of a coach. Won games people didn't expect him to, but it's a high bar right now at Mississippi State. This is a tough-ass job. They're not going to give you 3 years to learn on the job. Yeah, as Latham says here, Mississippi State can't miss on this one. And credit to them. You look around. Don't bring up this person, Liquid Flame. Do not bring him into this show. But can we get Billy? Michael Riley wants to know if Florida's going to fire Billy Napier. Billy Napier will be back next year. But credit Mississippi State, again, for making a decision, making the right decision. Whether this is what A&M should have done about 2 years ago. Fire, if you know you don't got the guy, get rid of him and go here fresh. And I think Mississippi State can attract a good coach. We'll wait and see. But someone like a Jamie Chadwell that has head coaching experience that's been successful at a lower level, that's who I'd be looking at. Again, I'm not going to give you a list of candidates because it's all poor shit right now anyway, the moment after they fired the guy. But Mississippi State, again, same thing I said about A&M. I want to see a hire by the transfer portal. You almost have to. And doing this now gives you an opportunity to get that start going. You can have those conversations with coaches. Like maybe, let's say it is Dan Mullen, which I highly don't think it will be. But he'd be a hell of a hire. I think he's the best coach in Mississippi State history. But recapturing that magic, I think, is too much to ask. But let's say it is someone who's out of coaching, Urban Meyer. It's not going to be Urban Meyer either. But, if it's someone like that, you can agree to that before the season's even done. So you put yourself in a position to do stuff like that. But, man, I forgot. I was going to open a beer. Should I open a beer? I have to get up from the screen here in a minute if I do it. But I was thinking we would just crack open a cold one for every coach that gets let go here. May have that be a tradition here on the show, emergency show. But okay, they're saying open a beer. James Franklin of Starkville. That if they could get him. Okay, yeah. Stick to the. Hold on 1 second. Won't take me long. The fridge is literally right there. Okay, we're back. Got the beer. Well, this is a good opportunity to plug. I'll be on Paul Feinbaum here in a couple hours. They see this video, they may uninvite me, but 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central, SEC Network. Be there. I won't be drinking a show on that. They'll never have me back. I can only do one because I got that coming up. Yeah, Lance Leipold, if you can get him, again, my source is Sean McVay is on a plane. Please go on Feinbaum drunk. Can't do it. I can't do it. It's Don't worry, beer is breakfast in Alabama. It is here in East Tennessee right now as well. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Very fascinating. Mississippi State's in a unique place. NIL's in ruins in Starkville. You got Texas and OU coming in, obviously, next season. But, again, I can't credit Mississippi State enough for, you want to be a big boy in college football, you make moves like this. These are tough decisions, but just yank the plug. It was clearly not going to work under Zach Arnett. And I can't remember if I've shared this before or not, but I heard just recently, this was during the Mike Leach era, Zach Arnett interviewed at LSU to be the defensive coordinator under Coach O. I don't know if you guys remember that. And Mississippi State fans, as fans do, they cheer when you keep your guy, turn down LSU, all that. Zach's in it to win it here at Mississippi State. But I was told that Coach O came out of that meeting saying that was the worst interview I've ever had. No, we're not getting Zach Arnett. We want no part. Now that's the story that was told to me. So again, I don't want to sit here and bury Zach Arnett, but that's just what I was told. So I think Mississippi State is much better off. Clearly, I mean the expectations to win this year was 7-8 games. I don't think they're going to get to 6. Their fans had high expectations. So Prime going to A&M, I don't think so. So no idea, but now this is interesting. What does Will Rogers do? Yet does he come back? I mean, he's MSU through and through. So I wonder if that makes this job any more attractive, that you got a quarterback that is more experienced than damn near anybody in the entire country, potentially back. Who is the interim at Mississippi State? Liquid Flames is asking. It's Greg Knox. former interim coach at Florida, former interim coach at Mississippi. He's been an interim coach many times over. Yeah, Justin, same question from KJ Jefferson. Does that make Arkansas more attractive? Arkansas not even open yet, but that is I think so. I mean, I think these that's how you can speed up. I don't want to call it a rebuild process, but just the year one implementing a new culture, new system, and all that. So, any chance State plays better? Maybe. I don't know if anybody saw it, but a lot of former Mississippi State players over the weekend calling out the current team for just being soft and just look lifeless out there against A&M. And quite frankly, that they've been doing that for a while. So, a lot of State fans like Tom Herman. I mean, I have not watched a game of his at FAU, and I barely watched any at Texas. But if he couldn't get it done at Texas, can he do it at Mississippi State? I'm not so sure. I mean, that's not a bad hire. Head coaching experience. He won a national championship as a coordinator. I'd take him, but I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know if I'd go that. A couple more beers, you could probably talk me into Tom Herman at Mississippi State. What are the chances Auburn goes 8-4? Let's look at their schedule real quick. So they'd have to win out, right? I do not like the chances. 7-5. That's a hell of a debut for Hugh Freeze, given what he inherited. I'm fine. I think you should be happy with 7-5. I really do. Year one, granted, not next year or moving forward, really. Do you think it's possible? People keep asking, is it possible for Mississippi State to hire Dan Mullen back? I have not heard that from anybody other than fans and things of that nature. So I don't. I think Dan Mullen's, he's living that buyout life. He's doing it, and I'm sure he's making bank from ESPN. I don't think he's coming back to Mississippi State. I really don't. Is it realistic? Is it possible was the question. It's possible, but I think it's very unlikely. Very unlikely. Todd Grantham. No, ain't going to be Todd Grantham. You think Texas is the same as Mississippi State, says Slort? No, I didn't say that, but it's kind of like Will Muschamp. Remember when he was at Florida and he failed miserably and South Carolina hired him? This is kind of like that same scenario. If he couldn't get it done at Florida, is he going to get it done at South Carolina? That would be my argument against Tom Herman at Mississippi State. If he couldn't win big with all the resources at Texas in a weaker league, how is he going to be very successful at Mississippi State, which doesn't have the resources, which is going up against some of the biggest monsters in not just the SEC, the nation? I don't know. That is what I'd be saying right now. Harsin, not going to be Brian Harsin either. Ooh. With Mississippi State and A&M jobs open, should Arkansas hold off on fire? That's an interesting question. We have 3 jobs open. I would certainly think Arkansas is a better job than Mississippi State, but it's not a better job than A&M. So that's something to consider. Bobby Trino to Mississippi State. I don't like that either. I like a younger guy, and then you're going to have to bust your ass in recruiting at Mississippi State. And so I want to see someone that is a recruiter. That's what I would want to see at Mississippi State. Butch Jones, no, I would not hire Butch. I don't think Mississippi State is ever going to be better than 7 to 8 wins, says Solar Earth. I mean, they've done it before. They've done it before. A lot recently, actually. Tommy Reese. I don't think I'd be hired. Again, do not hire a coordinator. Do not hire someone that's never been a head coach. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, here's a perfect one. Jeff Traylor. He's at UTSA. He's been an assistant in the SEC. He's got head coaching experience. I think he was a head coach in high school too. So he's been working up that ladder. If they could get him, he's probably a candidate at A&M. So you may not be able to even get him, but that would be a hell of a hire, I would think, for Mississippi State. Jimbo Fisher. I asked. I did ask somebody connected to Mississippi State. Would they consider? He said no. They would not consider Jimbo, which is wild. But Jimbo, he can make whatever his next job is. A&M still got to pay him 70 something whatever million. So Jimbo may take a discount at his next job. Believe it or not. Josh McDaniel. Yeah, a guy like Sean Lewis, I think, I don't know how successful, wasn't he the head coach at Toledo there? I don't know how successful they were, but he was a great offensive coordinator, I think. He was there at Colorado. He got fired already. It's kind of fishy, though. Coach Eddie O, don't see it. Don't see Eddie O at Mississippi State. Yeah, Jimbo's going to be on his yacht today. He's probably got a couple yachts there. But again, credit Mississippi State. I've been kind of out of the loop. I had to jump out of town real quick. I missed a lot, but this is going to be fascinating because I think Mississippi State's a better job than people realize, but it's a hell of a difficult job. I mean, they landed Mike Leach. I mean, what a legend. I just miss Mike Leach so much. Dan Campbell to A&M. No. I don't know that you can. I don't think you can hire an NFL coach anymore with the schedule with college. I keep referencing this transfer portal. You simply have to have a coach in by the portal window, and that the NFL season's going on. So no, I just don't think the schedules work out anymore, unless it's a fired NFL coach or a former NFL one that's not actively coaching. Greg Schiano. I don't think it'll be old Greg Schiano. I do not think that. I think it's going to be a G5 type head coach that's doing things. That's what that'd be my guess right today for Mississippi. And I don't have names because there are no names. They fired him a couple hours ago, so just wild times. It's crazy though, isn't it? Not even 1 year. Not even 1 year. This is has that been done before? Non-scandal? I'm trying to think. I mean, Chad Morris got 1.5 years, but he was just so god awful he had to go. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Sam Pittman's got a press conference in 30 minutes, so he has not been fired. People just run with. I mean, I'm not the Adam Schefter of SEC by any means, but just stay on my timeline if you want accurate information. Don't go with Hog Talk 22 or whatever the hell, because everybody saw that tweet, but people just run with shit because they want to make shit up. They want to pretend they're insiders. They want to get it out there first. If it's not on a legitimate timeline, don't believe everything you see. And there's going to be a lot of fakes too. People get off on getting retweets on fake accounts too. So the Chad Morris redemption. Yeah, I'm not seeing many good names here. Again, no, Garrett Riley. Do not hire someone that's not been a head coach. That's awful. Do not do it. Josh Gaddis, OC. Do not hire a guy that's not been a head coach. It will end miserably for you. We didn't even give this guy 11 games. You cannot. There's no training wheels in the SEC. Y'all are just naming assistants now just to piss me off. I mean, if you can get Willie Fritz, that'd be a hell of a hire. Tulane coach. Someone like that. That's exactly who I'm talking about. Someone that has won at a lower level and wants to test himself at the highest level of college football. That's what Mississippi State. I don't know how to say this guy's name. I always butcher it. Ken, whatever. Texas State. He was at another school last year and was killing it. I think it was Incarnate World or something. They throw the ball all over the yard. Someone like that would be perfect. Couple years head coach. Jamie Chadwell, another one. John Summerall. I think John Summerall is going to be the next Kentucky coach. So think he's waiting out for that one. He's at Troy, I think, right now. I think they won 12 games last year. Everybody can find one example of a Kirby Smart was not a head coach, but good luck. It just, you can't do it. Cannot hire, cannot wait on these guys. You just can't. If you pull out of James Franklin, how long ago was that? That was 15 years ago, right? I mean, times have changed in the SEC. We just, no, Gus Malzahn, he's not going to Arkansas. He's not going to Mississippi State. I don't know why that's getting, that was from the same account that made up Sam Pittman's already fired. So anyone believing that, you're Jeff I'm going to ban the next assistant request here. Jeff Lebby would be an awful choice. No head coaching experience. Fans are fed up with his play calling ability, even at Oklahoma, even though they've got a highly efficient offense. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see who these coaching. Man, 2 jobs open within 24 hours. Maybe another one coming open soon. We got to get locked in for this Sam Pittman press conference here coming up. Derek Mason, Lou Holtz, if he's still alive, says CT, let's get him in there. Not getting Washington's coach, that's for sure. Manny Diaz, I mean, he's got head coaching experience, not great experience. I wouldn't hire someone that's flamed out at a bigger school. That's illogical to me. Now, I'm sure that, again, you can probably point to some example where it's worked for somebody, maybe like a Barry Odom, something like that. But can Mississippi State get Barry Odom? I think that'd be a hell of a hire. I don't think they can get him. I don't know, though. I don't know. No idea. Dan Lanning. Everybody, I think Dan Lanning's got a $40 million buyout if someone steals him, they got to pay $40 million. It's wild. Dan Lanning's not going anywhere. I hate to tell everybody that's thinking that out. Lane Kiffin flamed out a couple of times. That's true. That's true. I don't think I'd hire Kiffin either. A&M should go after Mike Elko. It's not a bad idea. Paul Feinbaum. It will not be Paul Feinbaum. Which, again, I'll be on 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. I got to sober up before that. But, yeah, I just want to give my quick thoughts here on Mississippi State. Pulling the plug. Credit you, Mississippi State. You care about football, despite what many people may think. This was a decision. This was the right decision. Made quickly. I get it. I don't know anything about their AD. He's new. I think he was an associate AD at Oklahoma. I could have that wrong, but I think that's where they got him from. So this will be his first football hire. He's going to be judged on this, no doubt. Very interesting decision upcoming for Mississippi State, and especially with Texas A&M job out there as well. Have to wonder, clearly they're not going to be fishing in the same waters, but I'll be interested to see, what if some coach gets interest from Mississippi State, and then A&M sit here and is like, oh, they're about to hire the guy we're interested in. That could certainly happen. I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting. Feinbaum does not make me take a breathalyzer before they probably may have to start doing that. So I'm going to jump off here before I say anything stupid. But I do appreciate the little emergency podcast. Again, I'll be meeting up. We got, normal shows throughout the week. But if anybody else gets fired, you better believe we're going to be hopping on, drinking a cold one, starting a tradition here. Cousin Shane, a.k.a. Cowbell Cousin. What a comment. But, yeah, appreciate you guys hopping on here for a quick one. And stay tuned to the channel. We got a lot more coming up, obviously. Stephen Lasson going to be on the next episode. I'm going to try to line up some guests this week for Mississippi State and A&M, and maybe some game previews. Not a great weekend for game previews, obviously, but we'll just stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of good content this week. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll catch you on the next one.